October 1066. The Battle of Hastings is over. Harold Godwinson, England's last Anglo-Saxon king, is dead. His army is shattered, and the Normans stand victorious. But William the Conqueror has a problem. England isn't his yet. The city of London still stands, defiant, and before William can claim the throne, he must break its resistance. Just south of the city, across the River Thames, a force of English warriors gathers at Southwark. Their mission? To stop William before he can even reach the capital. The battle that follows is fierce, a desperate last stand. Fire, arrows, the streets of Southwark become a war zone, yet history barely remembers this fight. But what if Southwark had held? Could England have stopped William's conquest? Stay with us as we uncover the battle that history almost forgot. The Battle of Hastings had been brutal, but William's work wasn't done. He couldn't just march into London and take the crown, because London wasn't surrendering. The city was England's largest, protected by thick walls and filled with warriors still loyal to their herald's legacy. Inside London were nobles, soldiers, and common folk who had no intention of letting a foreign invader take their kingdom. William needed to act fast, but rather than march straight into London, he made a calculated decision. Instead of attacking head-on, he would weaken the city first. He moved his army south, securing key towns like Dover and Canterbury, cutting off London's support. But as the Normans approached the River Thames, they found something unexpected, an army waiting for them. A force of English warriors had gathered at Southwark, the settlement just south of London Bridge. These weren't just surviving soldiers from Hastings. They were local fighters, possibly led by London's nobles, or even one of Harold's remaining allies. They knew William would come this way, and they were ready. The Normans arrived at Southwark, expecting little resistance. After all, they had just crushed England's army at Hastings. But instead of a surrender, they found defiance. The English had fortified Southwark streets, setting up barricades and positioning archers along rooftops and defensive points. As the Norman cavalry advanced, they were met with volleys of arrows. The narrow streets gave the defenders an advantage. They could strike and retreat before the Normans could counterattack. William's knights, who had triumphed on the open battlefield, suddenly found themselves struggling in the confined urban landscape. The Anglo-Saxons, fighting with spears, axes, and bows, held their ground, pushing back Norman advances. For a moment, it seemed like they might stop William's army. But William was no ordinary commander. He knew that direct combat in tight streets was costly. Instead, he adapted. The Norman archers were ordered forward. From a distance, they rained arrows down on the defenders. The once organized English line began to falter under the relentless assault. Then came William's most brutal order: burn it down. The Normans set Southwark ablaze. Flames roared through the settlement, consuming homes, shops, and fortifications. Smoke filled the streets, forcing the defenders to retreat or perish in the fire. The battle was over. Southwark had fallen. With Southwark destroyed, the road to London was open. But instead of attacking immediately, William used strategy. He didn't need to storm London. He could starve it. He marched around the city, seizing key towns and cutting off supplies. He torched villages and used psychological warfare, showing the people of London that resistance meant destruction. By early December, London's leaders realized they couldn't win. They sent envoys to William, offering their submission. On Christmas Day, 1066, William entered Westminster Abbey, placing a golden crown on his head. He was now King of England. But here's the big question. What if Southwark had held? Imagine if the defenders had stopped William. Imagine if London had refused to surrender. Would William still have won, or could England have remained Anglo-Saxon? Tell us your thoughts in the comments. Was William's victory inevitable, or was there still a chance to stop him? The Battle of Hastings wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. William faced more uprisings, more battles, and a kingdom that refused to accept him. If you want to know what happened next, including the brutal rebellions, the Viking invasions, and the legendary harrying of the North, subscribe to Battles Beyond Time.